Hey, everybody, how's it? Ding. Let's get right to the point. I was watching a show, and this is yesterday, and they were talking about the poverty rate. Poverty rates of a lot of urban and suburban towns, if you would, with populations under 1,000 and stuff throughout the United States. Very interesting. You know, a lot of towns that have fallen to the wayside because everybody went to the city. Ironically, I look at this and I go, well, it's saying that the house prices in this particular area, you could buy a house for $140,000. Now, is it an area you want to live, even though the houses are nice? It's a whole different thing. But they keep on running these numbers on poverty. And I kept on saying, look, if you're going to ask people, or if you're going to present numbers on poverty, why don't we present numbers on how happy people are? Now, let's think about this. What I'd really love to see, it would be kind of a sample survey of people from poverty to incredibly rich and just ask that question. Well, how happy are you? And I'm going to gamble here and say that a higher percentage of people are happier than you think, especially labeled poverty, if you really think about it. This is something that, because of sample surveys and stuff like that, because of the number gathering that, the world needs to have with their census, that you have to have these definitions. What makes somebody poverty? What makes somebody middle class, upper class? That's based around economics. But then the side shoehorn, if you would, is the subliminal, messaging is, well, if you're living this way, then you must not be happy because you're not achieving the things that we're saying you should probably achieve in order to be successful. Therefore, you possibly can't be happy, And so I think that's something that really needs to be expressed at some point. I'm thinking of just going out into the streets here and just asking people, not how much they make. It's just, are you happy? Regardless of what it is that it is, you do. Because we spent our whole life here on this planet being told that we're not good enough unless we have achieved things. That's marketing, right? We all know that. Every year it's a different run of color, it's a different type of look. Shave your beard this way or else you're not cool. How much of that kind of crap's going on? You know what I'm saying? But nobody's out there saying, yeah, you might, we're living in poverty or something, but how happy are you? Because I got to tell you something, guys. I'm almost 65, and I've spent a very good percentage of my life just barely teetering on that poverty, just making a little more. I might have had a couple of decent years in there, but the truth be told, my happiness was more paramount than hitting some kind of hash mark for the census or the United States or whatever in order to be declared doing better than somebody less than you, if that makes sense. In my case, my world has always been and will always be about having the power to manage my time the best I see fit. A whole different video. But anyhow, maybe I'll expand on that some other time. The truth be told is, instead of finding out the percentage of poverty, we should be finding out the percentage of happiness. I'm just saying, here on the Positive Wave Writer channel, because that's what we do here, right? Anyhow, have yourself a killer day. I'm going to finish up my coffee. And remember, count the wins, stack the wins. They could be really small, tick, 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 tick. But at the end of the day, it goes down. All right, take care. Aloha.